I've said many times that you have to take the things that Tyson Fury says, particularly in relation to Anthony Joshua, with a very, very large pinch of salt. And I'm going to give you an example here of what I'm talking about. This is a Sky Sports article from back in 2016, when Anthony Joshua was about to challenge for the world heavyweight title for the first time against Charles Martin. And Tyson Fury said he was ready to step in and help Charles Martin and give him some tips on how to beat Anthony Joshua. And not only that, he placed a bet of thousands of pounds on Charles Martin to win. And he also went as far as saying in this Sky Sports article that Anthony Joshua needs a miracle to beat Charles Martin. I mean, talk about wishful thinking. So he offered to help Charles Martin, do a bit of sparring with him, and give him some tips on how to beat Joshua. He placed the bet on Charles Martin, thousands of pounds to win the fight, and he said Anthony Joshua needs a miracle to beat him. He said Joshua's no good, he's not impressed with him, he's a hype job, so on and so forth. Now, obviously, this backfired on Tyson Fury in spectacular fashion, but his hatred of Anthony Joshua has continued. And I'm telling you, this is why he dislikes Anthony Joshua. One, because Anthony Joshua has received far more love from the British public and has made far more money and just has a bigger public profile than Tyson Fury, so he's envious of that. And number two, because he sees Anthony Joshua as a threat. That's why. Yeah. Two reasons there. Because he's envious and he also sees Joshua as a threat. Why does he see Joshua as a threat? Because when Joshua was an amateur, an ABA champion, that's all he was. This is before he was even in the world championships, before he was in the Olympics, years before all that. This is just when he was an ABA champion. He sparred Tyson Fury, who at the time was British heavyweight champion as a professional. And Tyson Fury admitted out of his own mouth that Anthony Joshua beat him up in the sparring session. That's why he feels like Joshua's a threat. Joshua's improved since then, so has Fury, obviously. But he still sees Joshua as a threat. Of course he does. Don't believe all the bluster and the BS that he comes out with where he's saying he could fight Joshua now. That's nonsense. If he could fight Joshua now, he would. If he was confident of beating him now. But he ain't going down that road because he don't feel like he's ready. Alright? He sees Joshua as a genuine threat. But he's got this history, as I say, of trashing Joshua, never giving him any credit, picking against him all the time. I remember Tyson Fury's dad saying, they'll never put Joshua in with Joey Parker. That's what Tyson Fury's dad said. This is the mentality that his dad and Tyson both have. Oh, they'll never put him in with Joey Parker. Well, they did put him in with Joey Parker. He also said they'll never put him in with Klitschko. That fight's never going to happen. Then they put him in with Klitschko. And then going into the Klitschko fight, they were like, oh, well, Klitschko will beat him. But then he beat Klitschko. And to be fair, John Fury, Tyson's dad, has given Anthony Joshua a lot of credit since that Klitschko fight. Yeah, John Fury has given Joshua a lot of credit. He still believes his son can beat Joshua, understandably so, but he's given Joshua a lot of credit. But Tyson hasn't given Joshua credit. Tyson Fury is still trash talking him and putting him down at every opportunity. Peter Fury also used to give Anthony Joshua credit. Peter Fury used to rate Anthony Joshua very highly. Peter Fury was, to me, the most sensible of all of the Furies. And he would give Joshua a lot of credit and said, look, he's a dangerous man, so on and so forth. But Tyson is still continuing down this road of trashing Joshua, saying he's no good, saying he's a pumped up bodybuilder, I don't need to train for him, I can beat him now. Coming out with all this trash talk, which is just talk. There's no substance behind it. Because, as I say, he could get the Joshua fight now. He could have signed with Hearn and had the Joshua fight at the back end of this year or early next year. He could have signed the free fight deal with Hearn. Didn't do it. He's signed with Warren instead for less money against weaker opposition in the likes, with people like Safiri and Pianetta. Now, if he fights Wilder, okay, that's a big fight and that's a real fight. But the fights he was being offered, if he went the Eddie Hearn route, were Tony Bellew, Dillian Whyte, and then Joshua. He would have earned far more money going that route than he would be going the route that he's gone. But he's so concerned, as I say, about losing that he didn't want to go that route. He was, concerned about how dangerous those fights would be for him, given the fact that he's coming back off such a long layoff, rehabilitation from drinking drugs and losing a massive amount of weight. He's not confident enough yet, but he's still talking like he's confident, even though he's not. So that's why I say a lot of things that Tyson Fury comes out with, you got to take it with a large grain of salt, particularly in context when you see the stuff he said about Anthony Joshua in the past. It's farcical. It really is. And once you notice the pattern, then you'll know how to take his future comments about Anthony Joshua. When you notice the pattern in his behavior and the things he's been saying about Joshua, picking Charles Martin to beat Joshua, putting money on it, saying that Joshua needs a miracle to beat Charles Martin. What had Charles Martin done in his career to make Tyson Fury believe that Joshua needed a miracle to beat him? Incredible. Anyway, let me know how you feel in the comment section below, people. It's happening. I'm out.